Hello, party people. Welcome into HerTake. It's just me today, of course, also my guest. But as far as hosting goes, it is just me, Brielle Lowry. Chelsea is unfortunately sick with this nasty norovirus that is going around the campus. Um, don't worry, updates. She's feeling great. She just still has like the infection period, so she doesn't want to get people sick, which I commend because one thing about Northwestern students is they just love coughing all over people and getting everybody sick.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Yo, you hit the nail on the head. That is like the amount of times like campus flu has been going around,
yeah.
like has been ridiculous, and
Yes.
it stems from those big lecture halls. And if you go to class in like tech, you understand what I'm talking about. Those big lecture
Seriously.
halls, and like you'll sit in for your class. It would be like a normal winter day, but like the one thing you'll notice if you go to Northwestern is that there'll be 10 different people from all over the lecture hall just coughing constantly over class. So you keep your head on a swivel. Like I've had my moments
Swivel.
where I like look to my left.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, that guy's coughing. I'm gonna stay away from him. Look to my right. Oh, somebody else on the other side of the lecture hall is coughing, and then the guy next to me will start coughing, and then the person behind me will start coughing. 3 days
Yeah.
later, I start coughing.
Oh, I mean,
I
yeah.
wonder where I got it from. Oh, woohoo!
I mean, we saw it in fall. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks because I was sick. But, anyways, today it's me, Brielle Lowry, and my wonderful guest. Name yourself.
Oh,
We
hi
do this every
guys, it's
time.
Matt.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
I've been MIA for a couple of months, but
This is
I
true.
feel like
You haven't been on her take in a while.
I haven't been on for a while, and I miss it. I miss being on her take, genuinely.
That's so sweet.
So I'm back.
Thank you. It's also like a really big snow day, so it's kind of more it feels more intimate with just you and me because it's like there's not a bunch of people. Like
It's usually
it's like
like three or four. I feel like there's always like I'm doing her take with like first year, or I'm doing it with Jonah, or like I'm doing it with Pearson sometimes. Like it's weird. It
yeah.
reminds me of. Do you remember the one spring episode we did it in here, and it was just me, you, and Chelsea? It was in April.
I think maybe.
Yeah, I think it was. This is
Yeah.
like eerily similar.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a huge snowstorm outside if you're not aware or if you're not in the Chicago area. Huge snowstorm. A lot of people probably want to stay in. Also got a big football matchup tonight against the Seahawks and the Rams. So I don't blame anybody.
What is the score of that game?
I have no idea.
I want to know.
But this is her take, so we're talking about women's sports. And first, we wanted to Matt requested to talk about lacrosse because
Yeah.
he is also a big lacrosse junkie, just like Yan Yan and Gabe last week. So we're gonna do a little continuation of that. So Matt, if you want to take it away, give
Yeah,
us your takes
I
that
am.
everybody loves.
Oh, this general lacrosse takes.
I mean, anything,
Okay.
anything you want to talk about lacrosse wise,
Well, I
or
feel like this
sport
year,
related.
I think the story. There are two major stories in my head that I'm kind of constructing in my head. One of them is the question of, does Northwestern have a new Ghost of Christmas Past? And if you follow Northwestern lacrosse for the past 5 years, Boston College has been a thorn in Northwestern's side for years.
Okay.
For years. And so last year, when BC came in and they beat Northwestern on home turf, the I kid you not, one of the most hyped sporting events on campus I have ever seen. Genuinely,
Mm,
outside of a football game or a basketball game, I think it was the most hyped sporting event I had ever seen around campus. Of
mm-hmm.
course, number one, number two, inside Ryan Fieldhouse was a big thing.
Right.
There's a huge crowd, and BC came in and beat Northwestern.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what happened in the national championship in 2024? BC beat Northwestern by 1 goal. So it's like, okay, maybe Boston College has Northwestern's number. Fast forward to the Final Four.
What a funny.
Fast forward to the Final Four.
Uh huh.
The end of the third quarter in the Final Four, and Boston College is up by 5,
Right.
and you're sitting here like, wow, like Northwestern really cannot beat Boston College. Like the big rivalry was Shea Dolce and Madison Taylor, and it looked like Shea Dolce was like the Tewaaraton winner. It just looked like it just felt like that game would decide who would win the Tewaaraton because I think UNC, who we'll get to in like 30 seconds,
Okay.
was like pretty unproven. Like they beat Northwestern, it was okay, yeah, you beat NU, whatever. But like the big thing in lacrosse was like Northwestern, Boston College.
Hmm.
And Northwestern comes back in the fourth, scores six unanswered, snatches victory out of the jaws of defeat, and it's finally like Cat's face was like, "Oh, we beat Boston College. Let's
Finally.
go!" And then you run into UNC and Chloe Humphrey, and
Right.
Northwestern just got stifled. They didn't get destroyed. They played difficult. Like Jane Hansen had a great game. Emerson Bowley played well, but like they lost. It was like a deflating loss, it was just, especially after that fourth quarter comeback. It was a deflating loss.
Hmm.
This year, Northwestern goes on the road to Chapel Hill to play UNC on March 25th,
Right.
which is, I think, one of the biggest tests for this Northwestern team, who did an overhaul in the transfer portal, considering their losses to shore up their attack and the defense with
Hmm.
Jenica Kuko in between the pipes. Because you're going to UNC, you're going to play in front of the most or yeah, as a matter of fact, the most rabid, the most rancid, the most brutal fan base in all of college sports.
Rancid?
Rancid.
What?
Actually wild. And I say this because
That sounds
I
mean.
say this because you and the Tar Heel Nation is a ruthless, ruthless group of fans. I went to the Final Four
Right.
field hockey matchup,
Right.
and the way they hackled, the way they harassed Ashley Sessa, because remember, she's a UNC transfer.
Oh yeah.
The way they heckled Ashley Sessa was criminal. It was it should be classified as a felony. It was so bad. It was
My
rough.
goodness.
It was so no. It
What were
was
they
actually.
saying?
It was so like they kept accusing her of flopping, and then they were swearing at
Uh,
her, and it was this
I
whole
mean,
mess. Like,
to be fair, I feel like that can technically be any school that
I
has a
mean,
transfer. I feel like
yes,
us as
yes,
North.
but it's the difference is when it's any school, it's like okay, it's just a stupid 18-year-old kid.
Mhm.
These are grown men
Oh, they
yelling
were
at.
grown-ups doing it.
Yes,
I thought these were
yes,
kids.
these are grown
Okay,
men.
that's a little
These are
weird.
grown men.
It's a little
So it's
weird.
like,
Hey guys,
yo,
get a job.
get a
You're
grip.
like 50. Go work.
Yep.
Go to your office
Northwestern
job.
Northwestern has to go play in front of that this season. They don't
Hmm.
get Ryan Fieldhouse. Ryan
Right.
Fieldhouse is a great venue.
Yeah.
They don't get that. They have to go play number one on the road. And if they beat them on the road, I feel like that tells a lot. If they don't,
For sure.
then it's like, okay, here we go.
But
UNC again.
But
And remember,
honestly, I feel like if they were like obviously it's a tough matchup, but I feel like instead of looking at it from a win in loss perspective, obviously yes, I want them to win. And I think it would be great if they won. But if you look at it as like how they actually played against UNC, I feel like we could take a different perspective.
I feel like UNC, which leads me into the second storyline I'm constructing in my head.
Okay.
UNC had a big focus on Maddie Taylor and just shut her down.
Right, yeah. She
Most
had like
goals in a season in
nothing.
NCAA history. Most goals in a tournament in an NCAA tournament game in the history of the sport.
Hmm.
The single greatest season. Yes, Calvin. I know you're about to. I know you're about to tweak out and you're about to yell at me, saying, "Oh, you're not talking about the shot clock era." Yada, yada, yada." I don't care. Calvin's about to take my head off when he hears this on the back play in 30 seconds, but I don't really care. The single greatest season, offensively, not
Hmm.
only just in college, but the history of women's lacrosse.
Hmm.
And she didn't win it to Warton because she didn't score a single goal.
Right.
Because UNC triple teamed her the entire game.
Yes.
They were on her like white on rice. It was actually like just insane to watch in
Right.
person.
Yeah.
Um so yes, I think the way that they play is more important, but
Right.
from a macrocosmic perspective,
Okay.
losing to UNC in the national championship in 2025. having lost to them back in 2022, also by a go.
Right.
And losing to them in the regular season back to back years, it's kind of just like now the conversation is like, does Chloe Humphrey own Madison Taylor? Which is
What's the verdict?
it's not what I want to believe.
What's the
It's
verdict?
really not what I want to believe. And I really don't think that's the case.
Okay.
I really do not think that's the case. I do not think that's an accurate interpretation. I've said it before and I say it again. I think Maddie Taylor might end her career as the greatest collegiate lacrosse player of all time if
Okay.
she replicates her last season. But here's the second part of the storyline. Here's the major but. And this is why me and Calvin butt heads on this topic so much. And I've been thinking about this for the past couple months whenever me and Pearson are in the dorm and we're talking. And he's right. Madison Taylor will go down as the greatest collegiate lacrosse player of all time if and only if she wins the national championship this year and wins the tour.
Okay.
And I know she's a national champion, but the
Yeah.
difference is when she won that national championship, she had Izzy Skane and Aaron Kuykendall.
Right. I
Two,
watched that national
and you
championship.
did. You watched that national championship.
Before I even knew anything about field hockey, I just saw Northwestern. And I was like, well,
Lacrosse,
I'm going there.
lacrosse,
Oh yeah.
lacrosse, not field hockey. Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm,
sorry,
I'm
sorry,
just
sorry.
playing. I'm
Well,
playing.
no, same thing though. I know. Not, I did watch field hockey too before coming here because I just saw Northwestern and I was like, might as well.
Yeah, Northwestern ranked in field hockey, huh? Like when I found that out my senior year of high school, I was like, oh, what?
Well,
But
yeah, I didn't even know field hockey was a game.
are you serious?
Yeah, they don't have to my knowledge at least. They don't have that in like the Pacific Northwest over
That's
there in
fair.
Oregon,
That's
which most
fair.
people think is in the east.
No, that is that
Very
nah, that is
conservative.
that is that is very
Yeah,
fair.
side note, how do so many people that go to Northwestern, a very academically rigorous school, not know where Oregon is? They literally think it's on
What?
the East Coast.
Are you
I've talked to so
serious?
many people. I go, "Hey, you know that state California? Right
Right
above
above
it."
it.
And they're like,
Oh my
"Oh,
gosh.
Oregon's the forgotten state of the
Of
of
the
the
of the
West
West
Coast."
Coast, that's
But
ridiculous.
alas, yeah, I didn't know what field hockey was, and also lacrosse isn't that big either. Like I didn't know it was that serious of a sport because like at one of my middle schools we had a lacrosse team, but like they were kind of just like overshadowed by our baseball team. They were kind of like the oh, if you didn't make baseball, you'd like go play lacrosse, um, which is kind of funny because I feel like they're not that similar at all.
No, they're
Besides the fact
not.
that they use
They
sticks and a
no,
ball.
they're not. They're not
So,
similar at all. They're not. Lacrosse is like more parallel to basketball. I feel like. Think
okay.
about it, because you set picks like on the offensive, like when you're in the fan, you have offensive sets that you run. You set picks, like
Mm,
you run plays, you call plays. You have a facilitator that acts like a point guard. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
there's a lot.
yeah.
But I mean, back to
Right,
this
of course.
storyline. Madison Taylor. All Madison Taylor needs to do, and it's not. And I say all she needs to do because like it's something that's so simple, but for her it's
Mm,
not that difficult. All she needs to do is lead Northwestern to a national championship and then
yeah.
show out in the national championship. Had she scored, had Northwestern won the national championship last season, then Madison Taylor would have been unanimously voted the Tewaaraton winner. The reason why she didn't win it, and it irks me to this day that she didn't win it, because I hate the fact that the single greatest scoring season in NCAA history just went up in smoke after one game. The reason she didn't win it is because she lost, and Chloe Humphrey scored four goals. I understand Chloe Humphrey had one of the best seasons from a freshman ever,
Mm-hmm.
but to say that Chloe Humphrey, because of one game, had a better season than Madison Taylor did is ridiculous. To say that she's a better player than Madison Taylor is ridiculous. I just don't. I just think UNC's defense was better than Northwestern's defense, and I think that's
Mm-hmm.
why she won it. But I digress. Maddie Taylor has a golden opportunity to win a national championship in her home stadium, Northwestern Medicine Field at Martin
Right.
Stadium,
Because it's
this year,
hosted here
because
this
it's here.
year.
Has a golden opportunity to win a national title at home. You cannot tell me that's not a storybook ending, and that wouldn't be like the best possible close to what could be the greatest career in NCAA history.
You think they make a movie about it?
110%. I would make a movie about it.
No, not you. I know you would. I would too, but I just mean like I
Yes,
don't know the sports
yes.
gurus.
I think they would make a movie about it. I
Okay.
think losing to UNC and getting shut out in the biggest game of the season, and then having a chance to rectify it in your home stadium, nonetheless, a stadium that Maddie Taylor, in lacrosse night in Chicago, no less, last season, played a phenomenal game against Michigan,
Hmm.
and like we'll have another chance to play another great game this year at Lacrosse Day in Chicago, right? Which is an even bigger event than last year because Northwestern also brings in Richmond and Notre Dame, the men's teams, to play.
I was gonna say yeah. I saw a
With
thing. Aren't they like
yeah,
conjoined? Yeah,
yeah, they're conjoined.
which is really cool.
Yeah, which is sick. And then the national championship is played there. You Madison Taylor scoring like let's say a hypothetical 6 goals in the Natty to win it on the Lakeville is like
Whoa.
storybook
Six? She
six.
even scored one last time.
Well,
Not obviously not saying that's her fault. I understand that because she was obviously triple teamed. But that's a big jump.
she has
Maybe like one or
she'd
two.
been scoring. She'd been averaging 6 goals a game last season.
Well, yes, but that's not when she was triple
I
golded.
understand. Yeah. I understand that,
Okay,
but
okay.
what I'm saying is Northwestern most likely when the polls come out next week or whenever they do, it's gonna be UNC 1, Northwestern 2, BC 3, Florida 4, or even like I don't know, maybe Michigan 4, maybe Penn 4. I don't know, but it's gonna be Northwestern 1 or UNC 1,
Okay, I was
excuse
gonna.
me, UNC 1, Northwestern 2, BC 3.
You think
UN
BC will be three
yes,
just because of
Shea Dolce is coming back.
okay.
BC's whole attack is basically coming back.
Well, but I mean
Northwestern,
like instead of two over Northwestern.
no, I don't
Okay.
think so. You can't say BC's 2 and then Northwestern 3 if BC loses to Northwestern in the Final Four.
Okay.
It's the same reason, and these are not very similar. It's the same reason why Notre Dame didn't make the college football playoff because you can't put in a
Mm,
team that lost to Miami and leave Miami as the first team out. It just doesn't make sense.
mm,
But what I'm saying is those three teams will end up in the Final Four most likely.
of
If I were a
course.
betting man, I would bet the house that UNC, Northwestern, and Boston College all make it back to the Final Four because
Mm,
it would be a dumb bet not to make. It would be a dumb bet not to make.
mm,
3 finalists from last year are returning. Will probably be Tewaaraton finalists this season on elite teams with elite defenses, great attacks. 3 of the best attacks in the country will probably make the Final Four. Maddie Taylor in that situation has an opportunity to put away the ghosts of Boston College and then beat Chloe Humphrey in her final national championship game or her Final Four game or either way, just rectify the ghosts of her past in Chloe Humphrey and UNC. In the national championship or wherever it is, and even if she does make the national championship, then she could finally prove, even though, yes, in 2023 she had Izzy Skane and Aaron Kuykendall, but nobody remembers that Maddie Taylor had 4 goals that game, right?
mm,
Because of course she had like who is now considered the greatest of all time when it comes to NCAA and Izzy's game.
right.
Maddie Taylor by herself hasn't won a natty without those two. Well, I can't say by herself because Riley Campbell, Emerson Bole, they were great last season, so it's not to discredit them at all.
Mm,
But Maddie Taylor needs to prove that she can win a natty without an Izzy game or without like one of the greatest of all time. You know what I
mm,
mean?
yeah.
And having that opportunity against a team or a couple of teams that have had such a storied past with her, who she's gone to battle with over her 4 years, would probably make her the GOAT, I think. And I don't think that's a ridiculous statement to make.
Okay. I I mean, again, like I've said before with Chelsea, I don't really know lacrosse that well, and obviously I'm in tune with our wonderful women athletes here for lacrosse, and especially Maddie Taylor. I mean, I feel like I can't really think of lacrosse without her, which does say something. I mean, she has a prevalent name. Um, I'm excited to see how this season will go. I hope we win it. It'd be really fun, especially like you said on home turf, and it would be a very big movie, and a perfect ending for Maddie Taylor. But I don't know.
It's
I
awesome
feel
that
like 6 goals is a lot.
I feel 6 goals is a lot, and I'm not gonna sit here and make a ridiculous take that she's gonna score 6 goals in the national
You just
championship game.
did.
I was just saying It was just a hypothetical. It's not
Okay.
my actual take.
What's your
With
actual take?
Maddie Taylor will score at least three.
At least three.
At least three. I think
Okay.
that's doable for her.
Okay. What if she's triple teamed again? Think she'll break through?
I think she'll break through. I think a player like Maddie Taylor, you'd assume that she'd watch the film and she would understand where she went wrong defensively or offensively, excuse me, and she'd be able to tweak things and she'd be able to fix it.
Mm.
That's why in the BC game she led the fourth quarter comeback. Not necessarily offensively, she didn't lead in scoring,
Mm.
but she was able to facilitate the offense better.
Right.
Why do you think Aditi Foster was able to score? Why do you think Sam Smith took over? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was able to see in real time Northwestern's flaws to the beat or where Northwestern went wrong in attacking the BC defense. On top of what she saw in the regular season. I don't care if it was game one. Players like Maddie Taylor, Chloe Humphrey, Ashley Humphrey, Shea Dolce know what to look out for in the team and are able to use film from their past experiences with teams. And that's why Maddie Taylor was able to facilitate as an attacker the comeback.
Mm. Okay. Um, I think that was a really thorough talk
It
about
indeed
lacrosse,
was.
and not that it's bad. I do enjoy it. I think for the last like what 8 minutes or so,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk quickly about Naomi Osaka, just because I really liked her outfit at the Australian Open. I think it was cool, and I wanted to touch on it, but also because I feel like she had some interesting, like not controversy. She didn't do anything wrong, in my opinion. More of just I saw it blowing up on like TikTok, and I was like, what? Um, Basically, okay. So her outfit, if you didn't see it, very pretty. It kind of looks like a jellyfish. She has like her. Is it called a kit in tennis
I
too?
don't know.
I don't know if it's called that, but her outfit, her uniform, is like a greenish seafoam like looking thing with a white skirt
Yeah.
and long
It is called a
pants.
tennis kit.
Yes. Okay. She has a hat that has a butterfly on it, which is a reference to when the butterfly went on her face in the last Australian Open that she won. Or not the last one, but the one that she won. And then there's like a big flowing cape. But anyways, I thought it was very pretty. But basically what happened is she was facing Christea.
Hmm.
Um and in between sets when Naomi was like she was just trying to pump herself up and she just kind of yelled like come on, and Christea did not have the ball. And she got very mad and she was like, she can do that. She can yell in between plays and got really like mad about it. And after Naomi ends up winning that match, and afterwards when she's getting interviewed on the court, the reporter was like, oh, like, what was that about, like the whole come on thing? And then she was like, I was just trying to fire myself up. Like it's not my fault that like apparently, or she said something like apparently there were too many come-ons, like no disrespect to her, she played her heart out, but I was just like I don't see the problem with it. So I don't know, I just wanted to know your thoughts about it, especially because she actually just pulled out for an unknown injury. um and it kind of makes me wonder if it's actually an injury or maybe she's getting in her head and didn't, I don't know. What do you what do you think,
I just think it's very much like blown out of proportion,
Matt? Yeah.
heat of the moment kind of thing. And it's so like it's such a big story because Naomi Osaka is part of this new wave of young talent, this young talented crop of female tennis players that are starting to take over globally, and it's like how do I even where do you even start with this? You know, there's a trend. There's very much a trend that started with the Serena, and then
Mm,
it's
I
Serena
see.
and Venus, and of course Coco Golf after that, and now Naomi
Yeah.
Osaka, and
And
it's
yeah.
just like you gotta at some point. At some point, I feel like it's a just a classic case of just pe- people don't want to see their legends fall. You know what I mean? It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same way as like seeing LeBron in Miami overtake Larry Bird in scoring, and then like overtake like you know what I mean. Nobody wants to see like everybody hates the rise of greatness for some reason. And I don't understand why.
Well,
And I feel like, and it's not. It's this is not against Christea. I
mhm.
feel like Christea's actions were very spur of the moment, and it was just, she was just upset that she lost, and she was just you're
Yeah.
kind of like, even in the heat of the moment after you lose, you're kind of like in denial. You grab it. You could relate. You played softball at a high level. You're kind of like in the now, and you're grabbing at straws, and you're making excuses in a moment before you're able to process and accept it. And I feel like it was just that. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think it was anything against her. I think the media and the fans are kind of receiving it in a different way because of the fact that Osaka is young and she's successful and she's great and she'll probably surpass the legends of the past like a Serena or a Venus. Or well, maybe Serena is kind of far fetched because she's the goat, but
Of course.
like a Venus Williams, you know what I mean? So it's I feel like that's where a lot of this is stemming from.
Well, and I think also I've seen it a little bit on the media. Is a lot of people are kind of calling it like racist intentions from
Hmm.
Christea. Obviously, that's a huge thing to go
That
about
is,
and say.
yeah, that
Um, I think that like people can have their opinions. Was it terrible what she did in terms of like was it fair? Not terrible. Was it fair what she did? No, not really. Was it nice that she didn't really like give respect after the match? No, but
no,
like you said, like heat of the moment, she was probably very mad. Like Osaka even mentioned it. She was like, it's probably her last Australian Open. So obviously, if it's your last one, you want to go far, and then you lose.
yeah,
I think the media does have a big impact on pushing certain narratives. Do I think that that narrative is out of the question? No. Do I think it's the correct narrative? I don't know because I don't know Christea personally. I don't really know what she was thinking, what was going on. I just think it was interesting that it became such a big like cry on the media of like, oh, it's another racist intention. Which obviously would be terrible if that was the case. But yeah, I think also it's just she heat of the moment didn't want to lose the match. She ends up losing it. It sucks. And then also like I mean, even now, obviously, this was like right after the match. But if I would have lost to someone and then they like pull out the next match because of an injury, I would have been so mad.
I
I'd have
would
been
be
like,
I would
bro, are
be
you kidding
livid.
me? Like,
I would be livid.
because like
Like
I feel like when I lose to someone or even like one of my teams that lose, like obviously I don't want to see them do good because it's like you beat me, like really, I want to see you gone. But like it's almost like more prideful when they do win because then it's like okay, well we lost to the national champions. It's like Oregon football with Indiana. Like did they
yeah,
get their butt whooped? Yes. Am I still mad about that? Yes. But it was the national championship team who went 16-0, you
yeah,
know? So it's like, okay. But I mean, I don't know. I think it was a very interesting media kind of blowing things up. And I am very curious to see. I'm not sure if since I've kind of looked at this, if it has been revealed, if she, like what the injury was that she's pulling out for. But I would be curious to see what it is.
yeah. I think that's like a uh, mm, that is quite interesting now that I'm sitting here and thinking about it and talking about it.
Yeah.
If it's an actual injury or if it's just like a PR cover up.
Or just like maybe she's getting in her head. I'm not sure. There was a tennis player that I knew who like pulled out of stuff because she was had a lot of mental health like stuff going on. So like I don't think that was Osaka, but if it is, especially like maybe all this media stuff is like I don't know. It's interesting,
It is
but
interesting, but I do not want to like come on here and say, oh, it's a PR cover up
oh
and
yeah,
she's just
definitely.
like covering up. Because look at the controversy that happened a couple of years ago with Simone Biles pulling out of the Olympics for
Right. Yeah.
mental health. You know, it could definitely be just like some ghost injury that
Yeah.
like she that you know when you
It's
get
been
hurt
recurring and now it's
sometimes.
flaring up
You know
again
when you
kind of thing.
yeah, or it could be like when you get hurt sometimes in a game and you don't feel it until the adrenaline is gone the
Yeah.
next day and you wake up and it hurts.
You're like shoot.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I mean like at the end of the day, we should let athletes pull out for whatever reason they want. It's they know themselves best. So I don't think it's fair to criticize. Um and yeah, I feel like the long story short, the media sucks and they blow everything out of
well, I
proportion.
mean we are media, so I mean what one of the dark sides to media is that you were taught clicks get you money.
Yeah.
And so the media is always trying to create narratives for clicks,
Right.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's positive, sometimes of course the media will report great stories. Like it it didn't come out until, years after Roberto Clemente was it Roberto Cle- it was Roberto Clemente that he would visit children's hospitals and like literally tell the media, if you tell anybody I'm here, if you put out a story on me, I'm leaving. I'm never coming back because
Mm,
he did out the greatest the goodness of his heart. Why release that years later for clicks and for views?
yeah.
Because that's how us journalists make money. That's why
Unfortunately.
Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless are getting paid millions and millions of dollars, even though everybody hates them because
Stephen A.
they
so
want to
many
go
people.
watch they want no because they want to go watch Get Up. They want to go watch Get Up and watch Stephen A. yap about how the MLB is going to have a lockout in 2027 because
Yeah.
the players don't want to implement a salary cap and keep getting paid, and owners do because they can't keep up with the Dodgers and stuff like that.
Mm, yeah. I don't know. Okay. We've gone a little over, which is okay. Um, but I think that was a good episode.
It
We
definitely
talked a
was.
lot about lacrosse, and it was nice to hear your takes. And I don't think they were as crazy as some say they might be, because you do have a reputation for crazy
I
takes,
do. I
which is
do,
not
and
bad.
I'm getting better. Hey, Pearson and Calvin know in the control room next to us. I called the Northwestern comeback against Minnesota, and at halftime, even after the Coy Parrish field goal return, I told them I was like, Northwestern is fine. They will come back. Minnesota's defense is not that good. And Pearson texted me after the game and was like, I don't know how you knew this, but you were right. So some of these takes do land.
Okay, okay. No, and this is fair. If you shoot for the stars, you'll hit one, maybe. Is that a
If
saying?
you shoot
I
for the
just made it a
stars and
saying.
aim for the moon, I don't worry when I shoot for the stars and aim for the moon because if I miss, at least you land on the clouds.
Is that the saying?
That is the saying.
I sort of had it. Okay. We're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching, Chelsea. We miss you, and I
Get
hope you're
well
back
soon,
next
Chelsea.
week. Get well soon, of course. Thank you, Matt, for coming on, and you'll be on Sports Voice next. So keep watching to tune in for some more takes, maybe some wonderful sports talk. But yeah, we'll see you next time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay warm if you're in the Chicago area.
Please stay warm.